Now, I usually don't make a video on mechanical problems, but this one's pretty interesting, and I hope a lot of mechanics and DIY people can benefit from this, because like I said, it is really difficult to pinpoint where this leak coming from. Today we have Holden Colorado 2.8 liter turbo diesel, or Chevy Colorado. It's one of the GM product. This is a 2014 model, but this should work from 2012, I think, up to 2018-19 with the 2.8 liter turbo diesel. The problem with this car is leaking coolant from the back of the head. Now when you look at it, it looks very much like the head gasket is leaking, but you can't see it properly. You can't really visually get the idea on what's going on. That's a little bit difficult on this one, but I'll show you how we can check it. And it's a very common problem. Apparently, I have also seen it in many occasions on a Colorado. They do leak coolant, and this is not all the time. Sometimes it leaks when it's cold, sometimes when it's hot. It's kind of like a temperature related. Sometimes it will not leak for a week, and sometimes it will leak like a too much. Sometimes it will leak a little bit, but they do leak. Now the way you can tell, because when you do a pressure test on this, you can't really see the pressure drop or coolant leaking out. Like I said, it's sort of like a temperature related. It's kind of like an intermittent problem, but they do leak, and slowly the water on the reservoir gets low level, like over time. Now, one way to check it when you're doing a service or up on the hoist, or if you're looking for a specific this coolant leak, one way you can do this to check it is you can see a trail, like a stain, coolant stain. When they dry out, they go like a white sort of color, cloudy color. You can look for that sign, or sometimes you'll see like a red or a green, whatever the coolant is in the car, in the engine. You'll see a bit of a wet spot running down behind the head, especially on the right hand side of the engine. Now I'll just quickly take you there, and we'll sort of show you where we're gonna check for that coolant leakage sign is. So I'll take you there. This is from underneath the car. When you're looking at it, usually up on the hoist, usually when you're doing service. So basically right in this area on the right hand side, next to that exhaust on top of the gearbox, you'll see this coolant stain coming down in that location. And if you look up there, you can't really see much. You can see the head, but usually it's not because of the head problem. So if I just zoom in up there, you see the head and the exhaust manifold there. There's a little coolant heater hose running across. So usually around from that area and all the way down on the gearbox, you'll see sort of like a sign of coolant leak. So if you look right in that area at the bottom of the gearbox, you'll see that white stain. So that sort of stain I'm talking about when you're looking for that coolant leak. All right, first thing you want to do, you want to put a tray underneath the engine or the gearbox area, so that it will catch the coolant, because you're going to make a mess when we're doing this job. I'm a little bit ahead of the game here. So first of all, take the right hand side wheel off. Then if you see right in that corner, I already took that little rubber kind of like a cover. I'll just move this light. So around that area I usually have this cover, so just a couple of clips there. Once you see it, you know what I'm talking about. So right up in that area there, just a couple of clips and this rubber will come off, and then you just put this aside. Right, now you can have a little bit of access through this wheel arch area. And second thing I did on this one for easy access is, so I took the clip of this brake line. It goes right in there, so that way this thing can hang down. Now also around this area up here, you can see a hole. So usually this brake metal line goes in there, and there's a little clip that keeps that in place in that hole. Just push on the clip. So just push that clip back. You can have this hose sort of sitting there. You don't have to disconnect any brake lines. Otherwise you're gonna be doing a brake bleeding afterwards. I'm just trying to avoid that. So just bungee cord and trying to sort of keep this brake line sort of away from where we're working, because as it is with the brake line there, I could not fit my hand in there. So now you can sort of push this pipe around and you can get your hand in there. Now it's really difficult to see up there what I'm doing, but I'll try my best for you guys. So I'll zoom it in that area, right sort of in that location behind the head. So I'll just focus you in that area. I'll probably try to shine light up there, and I'll put a mirror here, and I'll try to show you what I'm talking about. So behind that head, if you look closely on the mirror, I'll try to zoom it in for you guys. Kind of like right there, you'll see a 12mm head Allen key bolt right on my mirror. Where my mirror is, it's behind the head. All right, right there. Oh, it's really difficult to show you, but I'll try my best. So basically that 10mm head Allen key bolt screws at the back of the head. Now it's called, I think if you ring the dealer and ask for that part, it's just a screw-on bolt. It's called like a core plug, kind of like a freeze plug, but it doesn't look like a typical freeze plug. It actually has a thread and screws onto that back of the head. Now we're gonna have to take this off, and we're gonna have to replace or reseal. And I'm gonna show you how we can achieve that without ripping things apart more than what we should. First thing is, obviously, like I said, all these brake lines has to be moved away, so you can sort of put your hands from behind, like sort of like in this direction, like this. So you can reach up there, kind of like in this position. Now, just for the easy access, just get a pry bar or a crowbar, something, and bend this little plate. It's a very thin plate. You can bend it pretty easily, sort of lever it against the chassis and sort of push it out a little bit. Not much. We don't want to damage or dent too much here, just a little bit, so you'll sort of push away and you can sort of slide your hand in there. Now this is gonna depend on how big is your hand. My hands, I would say mid size. It's not very big, it's not very small, and I think I can do this job. Now if you look in there, I'll zoom in. There's a coolant hose runs across the behind the back of the behind the engine head area there. So now this is a clip here, the spring clip from the factory, sort of there. So when this is original from the factory, you'll see this spring clamp, sorry, is faced that way. behind towards the firewall. So when you are putting my hands from behind here, it's going to get caught on your hand, and you might not even fit your hand, or you're taking a risk of making scarring your hand. So what I did is I moved this clamp facing forward instead of facing backwards of the car. So I just use this tool. It's got a big long cable running through, and when you pinch it, you can pinch when you pinch this here, you can pinch the spring clamp and you can move around. So basically that's how I did it, and I'll just zoom in there on the hose and I'll show you what I'm talking about. So basically, so I just went in there like that and put my hose clamp plier and just clamp it and just sort of turn it whichever towards the front of the car. So when you're going from behind here towards the behind of the head, you're not gonna get caught there. It's really difficult to see what I'm doing there, but I'll try my best. But I'll take you through the process on how I am going to attack that bolt at the back. So what you're gonna need here is Allen key bits like this, 12 millimeter Allen key, sorry. That's what the size of that Allen key bolt is. And what you want to do is a magnet, so like a little pen style magnet. You just put it on your magnet, because I cannot take this with me in my hand and go behind that pipe there. I'm gonna get stuck and I couldn't go in. So you use this magnet and then just extend the magnet like such, and then put one hand behind like this, and then you pass the magnet with the help of that magnet. Okay, that's how I did it, like this. So you go behind this brake hose, reach at the back there where the bolt is, and then you pass it sorry, I dropped it. I'm gonna have to pick it up. This magnet is not very strong, but yeah, should do the job for me. Yeah, like such, behind the pipe, coolant pipe there, and then you pass the bits with your magnet like that. Take the magnet out, and you can put this, you can't really see, but you can feel where that bolt is. So just with using your finger and put that bit 12 millimeter in the bolt head, so like such, and then come back. And then next step you're gonna need is a long, I got this one, Blue Point 10 millimeter ratchet head spanner. So you can probably use something else, but I found this the most effective, because there's not much room, you can move up and down. So you just put this on there, just through here. Now you don't have to really put your hand behind that head anymore. Just reach up to that bit, the Allen key bit, and then you're gonna unscrew it. Just using your left hand maybe, or even right hand, whatever's comfortable. So just crack it like that. Yeah, like that. I've already cracked it, so that's why it looked easy on the video. So just go on, unscrew that all the way. Now once it's unscrewed a little bit out, it should be pretty easy to do it with just by your hand. So we're gonna try that. Just leave the bits in there, so the Allen key bits, and you just unscrew that with your hand like that, as such, and then off it comes. There's a lot of coolant coming down, I can hear it. So basically, yep, this is the bolt at behind the head of the on this engine, and that's where the coolant slowly leaks out. So that's it, Allen key in that bolt hole, and that's it. Now what you want to do is you want to clean this bolt with a wire brush or screwdriver, whatever you got available. Clean the thread. Usually they have an old Loctite or seal from the factory. Clean that up and put some Loctite, or even RTV really should work for that reason. And then all you're gonna do is put it back the way we took it out. And that's it, guys. And lastly, do not forget the coolant. We're gonna just top it up. I'll just quickly show you the tools I use here. This is a great tool. Every mechanic should have this tool. So this is just a T&E brand, but there are many companies making the same tool. So we just got a few adapters here. So for this car, I'll choose this one with the cone style. So you just put that in the radiator cap bottle. Take the cap off in the bottle like that, just push it in, and then we got this tool here. We just put that in there nice and tight, and just screw that tight, and then we will use the air like so, and you just open the air tap and just keep going until the gauge is at just between 20 or 25 inches vacuum right there. Once you get to that, about there or so, usually I'll just shut the air. Just gotta make sure the other tap is also closed, this one here, and you can just watch the gauge for a little bit. If you start dropping the vacuum, that means there's a leak. Just give it a good 10-30 seconds. If it doesn't drop, that means more than likely there's no leak. Now we will use this other other pipe coming out of the other end of the tool. This will go into your coolant bottle. Usually, obviously, a premix coolant bottle. So, like so, and then we'll just put that in the drum there with the coolant, and make sure this is submerged in coolant at all time. We don't want the air to go in. Now I'll just get you back on the tool there, and all we're gonna do is we're gonna open that cap, and we will wait till this gauge drop to about 0. What it's gonna do is it's gonna suck the coolant in through this pipe. As soon as I open it, you can see this is drawing coolant into the radiator cooling system of the car. And like I said, make sure this hose is in the coolant at all time. So we just watch this gauge slowly dropping as it's drawing coolant. So yeah, once it gets to about almost 0, or you can see on this hose you start seeing air in here, air bubble or air. That way we know there's no more vacuum in the system. Now we'll just take the air line off, and then we'll just take this off as such. And that's it, and we put the new radiator cap on and we're done. If it's a bit low on the level on the coolant, you can always top it up a little bit. If it's too full, sometimes you can suck it out a bit. But yeah, that's how I do the coolant refill. Thanks for watching, guys.